Okay, in this video we're going to show you how to assemble your CAD monster. Now, what you've done is you will have completed your CAD monster. So I'm focused on this one here in particular. And when you open it up, if we just go into it here, you would have gone through all the checks that you've been covered in the lesson about how to make sure that it is ready for laser cutting. So we'll just go through this again quickly. Firstly, you're going to check that it is all level. So I can do that by just changing the front view. Make sure I go to perspective, turn it off. I can see that everything's level. You can also see that it's also sat on the blue grid. That is really important. If there is anything floating, it will not laser cut it. Also, if I look from the top view, so the views you need to use really are the top and front view. If I go to the top, I'm also looking for any lines that are crossing over. So I can't see lines that are crossing. Everything is a continual line like this, which means that the laser cutter will cut it out. So everything's a continual line. There are no lines that are crossing. Okay, that's really important as well. And you also need to finally make sure that everything's close together. So everything's close together like this. Okay, and that's all good. So that will be ready to be laser cut. So before you laser cut it, what you need to do is just going to take a step back and just go back into the menu. Now, this is a really, really important step because if you forget it, what will happen is you'll have a lot of work to do. So I can't stress enough how important this next step is. So I just try and find the work which I had before. Is it on the first page? I wonder. Oh, it's there. Okay. So what you must do, it's really important you do this. Before you create your assembly version, now the assembly version is what it would look like in 3D. So I don't want you to create it in this document here. I want you to create another version of this. So to do that, what you'll do is you'll click the settings, this little cog here, and you'll just go to duplicate. All right, and what that will do is that will create two of the same file now. So two of the same files. So if we just go back and have a look, we can see now that in our library, in our menu, that we have two of the same files. And that is really important. So we have this file here and this file here. So with one of them, what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings, and we're going to go to properties, and we are going to just rename it. Okay, we're going to call this one laser cut. Okay, so now that's what I'm going to laser cut. So I'm not going to touch that one. This one, I'm going to go to properties, and I'm going to call it 3D. This one, oops. So this one, I'm going to call it 3D. Okay, and then save changes. This one I'll turn to 3D. This one I'll leave. I won't touch it, only for laser cutting. So we're going to open this one, and now we're going to create it as a 3D model. So what it would look like in the real world once it's actually been laser cut. So I'm going to go into tinker this. And this is going to be a good test of your skill to be able to get things correct and in the right place. There are a few ways you can do this, but I'm going to do it this way. So the first thing I do is I'm going to get all my pieces, 1, 2, and 3, and I need to rotate them all by 90 degrees. So when you want to rotate them, if you turn around, you can see that this little arrow appears. And if I hold down the shift key and I click this arrow, okay, it limits the amount of degrees I can move, which makes it a bit easier. So I'll just turn that to 90, like that. I can then hold down shift, do the same thing again, turn it to 90. And then this one, hold down shift, and then I'm going to turn that to 90 as well. All right. So these pieces, as we can see at the moment, they are all below the work plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click them, and I'm going to use my arrow key here just to move them up. Okay, like that. I'm going to try and get them all the same level, roughly. Okay, it's probably about there. And then same this one as well. Now, what you'll find with this, you have to do a little bit of moving around and changing. So that's like that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click this one, and I'm going to use my right arrow key and just move it into place. So it needs to match up with that one. So it's like I'm playing a computer game on my computer on my keyboard. So I'm playing left, right. I'm just going to tap up with the little cone here. Okay, and there we go. It's in line now. I can see. I'm going to do the same thing again with this one. Just going to hide it behind the rest of them. Okay, and I'm not too worried about the order yet because I can change them in a second. I just want to get these roughly in the right place. So again, I can see that is in the right place. So if I change my views now, I can see that it's not quite right. So what I need to do now is I need to work from a different view. So I'm going to click left this time, and I'm just going to get this one and press the left-hand arrow key. Okay, now that needs to be behind this one. Okay, and we can always zoom in to see if it's any bit closer look. And I wanted to actually touch that yellow one. So the orange touching the yellow, perfect. Okay, and let's have another look now from a different view. So let's look at the top, so that looks like. So I can probably see from the top, there's a little gap there. So I can then just tap it again and it disappears. So then I can see that these are all in line and it's in the right order as well. So that now is in the correct order. Okay, so what I can do with this, now it's in the correct order, I can group it. So I can highlight all that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this color box here. And if I want all the colors to stay the same, I'm just going to click multicolor. Okay, it's just changed back to normal one I had before, but multicolor will keep them all the same when I group them. If I click group now, okay, they're all grouped together. So it's now one object, but the colors have stayed the same, which is also important for me as well. So that's that part. Now I need to get the this main part onto here. So again, best way to do it is just move your view, click the bit you've just grouped, and then just move the down arrow. And what it'll do is it'll all move together because you've grouped it. And again, with this one, it's just a case of getting it in the right place. And what you can do, as we've shown you before, is you can highlight this. We can use the align tool, and we can align it through the center and through that way. Okay, that should now put that directly above the slot that I created. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm literally going to get this and I'm just going to lower him down into the slot. So it just touches the, I don't do that's too much. So like that'd be perfect. Okay, so now I can see that that is sat into there where it needs to be. And the last little bit is the mustache. So the mustache again is similar way to what we did before. Is we're going to rotate it in the right orientation. So hold down Shift, 90 degrees, and then I also need to spin it as well the other way. So to do that, you can see there's an arrow this way, turns that way. There's an arrow that way, it turns that way, and there's also an arrow here. So I need to turn that by 90 degrees. Hold down Shift. So now the mustache is in the wrong place. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top view and then move it into the right place by using my down arrow key. Let's move it in front. Let's sort of go left. And let's have a guess of where. Okay, we'll get it the same level. So let's just zoom into there so we can see. So I want to get it level with the grey piece. It might not be in the right place, but this is the importance of using the views. Because as soon as you change your view, you can see where you need to be. For this exercise, you shouldn't really be using the 3D view. You should be just using the different top, front, side views and just taking your time and moving things around until they get in the right place. So that now is the mustache in the correct place. Okay, so I can see there it's in the correct place. Might just change that color. Let's give it like a, no, I don't like that. Not keen on that either. Let's give him a red mustache. Okay, the mustache is quite big actually. But now that's your model all assembled. Now what you can do now is you can turn the perspective on, okay, and then what you want to do is you want to get into a good view. So this is a good view. It's zoomed in well. It's filling the screen. I've got my perspective turned on. Then what I want to do is I want to take a screenshot of this so I can put it into my portfolio. and show it as a 3D model that I've created. So to do that, it's dead easy. All we do is we go up to here and you go to send to, and you will then just click this little picture here, and then that will download a 3D picture of your design, like so. Okay, so what I've got now is if I go back to my library, so if it just hurries up, okay, I can see now that I have, it hasn't updated, but I've got a 3D view and a laser cut view. So that's really important. What you don't want to do is turn it 3D and then realize, oh, I need to turn everything back flat to laser cut it, because that will take you a long time. So please make sure you make a copy of your file.